Hey, today I'd like to talk a little bit about dive tables and dive planning. It's something that all of you've touched a little bit on in your open water class, but usually after the open water class, we always get a computer, or maybe you were even taught in your open water class how to use a computer instead of the dive tables. Well, say we go to Florida, we take a boat ride out 40 miles and you've got your computer ready to go, and the waves get big and a tank falls over and breaks your computer. How are you going to do your dive if you're not up to date on your dive tables? So I'm going to just do a little demonstration on the dive tables. This, what I have drawn on the board, is what we call a dive profile. If you think about the top of these black lines as being the ocean surface, the part that goes down is our depth, and the part that goes across at the bottom is how long we're going to stay there. When we come back up on our ascent, this over here is going to be our surface interval to degas before the second dive. And same goes for this dive, the depth and how long we're there. So I will demonstrate on the dive table how to do this. Well, if you look at your dive table, it tells you across the top your depths, and the numbers going down is your time that you can stay at that depth. Well, let's do a scenario here, a pretty common one. Say we go to Myrtle Beach and we're going to dive a shipwreck, which is 60 feet. And typically we can dive for about 45 minutes. So we're going down 60 feet deep and we're staying for 45 minutes. Well, the boat captain says we're going to do a 40-minute surface interval. So we'll put it up there at the top. Well, then we're going to move over to the second dive, and it's going to be a reef sitting at 35 feet, and we're going to stay there for 45 minutes. So knowing these numbers and what dives we're going to do, how do you plan on your dive table to make sure that we can do these dives and be safe with it? Well, take your dive table. The first thing we're going to do is take 60 feet, find it right there across the top, and we're going to go for 45 minutes. So take 60 feet and go down to 45 minutes. There's a 44 and a 47, so we always round up. So we'll use the 47 number, and we'll come across, and that puts us in pressure group S. So when we come up, we're an S pressure group. That S represents how much nitrogen is left in our system after that dive. Well, to get rid of some of this nitrogen, or to degas, we're going to do a surface interval for 40 minutes on the boat. How do we do that? We're an S diver, so this is our surface interval side of the chart. So we're going to find S, then we're going to go across to 40 minutes. And we'll find a 39 and a 43. So 40 falls in between those, so we'll use those numbers and follow it to the bottom, which makes us J. So after the 40-minute surface interval, we're in the J pressure group. So you can see we went from S to J, so we did lose some nitrogen. But the J tells us that we still have nitrogen in our system before we do the second dive. So how do we figure the second dive? Well, the easy way for me to remember this is write the R-A-T. I remember that by saying chase the rat. So flip your tables over on the back. All right, we're a J diver and we're diving to 35 feet. So across the top, find your J and then go down to 35 feet. It's right here at the top. It says that we can actually stay there for 153 minutes. Well, that's not even possible because we don't have that much air in our tank. Well, really, we're only staying for 45. So our residual nitrogen time on this, it says it right here in this little box. Residual nitrogen time is in the white box. So J to 35 is 52. So we're going, this R represents residual nitrogen. So 52. A stands for actual. We're actually going to stay there for 45 minutes. So we'll put 45 in the A. And then T stands for total. So we add the 52 to the 45. That's 97 minutes. So now we flip back to the front of our dive table and we'll plan the dive just like we did the first time. We're going to go 35 feet and we're going to pretend like, because of the excess of nitrogen in our system, that we're diving to 97. So we go over to 35, it's right there, and go down to 97. It goes 92 and 100, so we'll round up to 100. and that puts us in a pressure group R. So when we come up off the second dive, we're a pressure group R. I know that was a lot. It's probably been a long time since you've done tables. I highly recommend everybody to stay current on their tables in case you do lose your dive computer. Always have your small dive planner in your bag on the boat. Here at Salisbury Scuba, we do about an hour class on dive tables, and we do that for $40. So if you're interested to come in and get a refresher on dive tables, just come see us. Thank you.